Hello and welcome to another crypto astrological update. Hold on, let me clear up this mess on the screen. There's a lot going on. Okay, so we're doing a lot better here. This is just a quick update, and in terms of astrology, we have the upcoming new moon in Pisces on February 20th, which I foresee as a bullish event for the price of Bitcoin. And you can see all of my astrological predictions on my Patreon. It links to these daily blog posts where I break down my predictions. And these are just my thoughts, my opinions, so it's not meant to be financial advice. This is purely speculative. And in the past, I've seen the astrology play out positively, and we've documented that on this channel. So we've seen correlations with the astrology and the price when used with technical analysis as well. Every day there's a new post on there. So with that being said, though, the main event that we're looking forward to is this new moon in Pisces, which will actually be conjunct to Bitcoin's natal Venus placement. Venus is the planet of finances, material things, and value. So this is a powerful moon for Bitcoin's value, and we've already seen that play out. Right now I'm on a very specific chart. I'm on the 5-minute chart that's very zoomed in. But if we look over the past day, we've seen nothing but positive price energy, and right now we're within 4 days of the new moon. So this has been confirmed a positive transit, and I've been talking about this transit for several weeks now on Patreon. And there's also a few other transits, such as Venus going to be entering Aries, and it's soon going to conjunct to Bitcoin's natal moon placement. When I refer to Bitcoin's natal placements, I'm referring to the Genesis block, which was also known as block 0. This is effectively when Bitcoin came into existence, when it went online, when the blockchain started. And this is actually documented due to the nature of cryptocurrencies being documented currencies. So we see it started January 3rd, 2009. Anyway, that's kind of, besides the point. But we can basically take the astrology of that moment and construct a chart which is having active transits. And so, as I was saying, I've seen these transits play out effectively on the price of cryptos in previous months and in previous videos that I was making on this channel. With that being said, that's why it is significant that Venus, the planet of love, and money, will be conjunct to Bitcoin's chart ruler, which is the moon. This is all stuff I break down in the Patreon, the private group. But it can be a lot, and all the terminology, it definitely has more in-depth explanation to it. Anyway, there's definitely, there's charts and stuff that we've looked at. With that being said, and I don't mean to bring up the Patreon so much, but there's so much value there in it that I will constantly find myself referring to it likely. And I'm very proud of that Patreon and that page and what we've been able to accomplish thus far. This was a point that I was telling people to accumulate. Well, I was saying that I'm accumulating, and this is because I projected that after this distribution period and as we approach the new moon, we would have a rally. Now, I did not expect it to be this strong, but just using trends such as downtrend analysis, and just essentially that just basically means just looking at the direction of the markets and seeing that we went flat for a while, which is called an accumulation period. That's how I was able to make that call. But with that being said, though, today I'm focused on a very, specific timeline event. This video is going to be short and quick. On the 5-minute chart, we're seeing very distinct wave patterns play out. And if you didn't know, price for assets moves in waves. That's why it's not always just a straight line up, because there's actually multiple trends happening on different time frames. For example, on the monthly time frame, we are in a downtrend now. Ignore all these fibs and all this extra stuff. But this is the 1 month. And this is the chart since November of 2021 until February 2023, basically. Anyway, if we go to the weekly, we see we're actually making an uptrend, because we are making higher highs than the previous high. This is also followed by higher lows in the structure. So this is showing the trend for the foreseeable future is upwards. Back to what I was saying about the 5-minute is that things move in waves, and the point of that other demonstration is to just show how we can be in a downtrend long term, but in the meantime we can have these waves in between, which to me are opportunities for profit. And I'm already largely in profit from the investment I made last week and the ones I was making in January. This is not because of me per se, but because of the action of the market recently, which was even larger than I expected. So I don't take full credit for everything, because at the end of the day, this is all speculative. And anyway, with that being said, right now we are on what's called the fourth wave. So the first wave is the first move upwards. The second wave is the correction. The third wave would be the one that moved upwards again, and it has a distinct peak. Each of the waves have distinct peaks and bottoms. And now we're in what's called the fourth wave. The fourth wave is a downwards move. So if you didn't know, the price of cryptos and of just assets in general, when it comes to speculative trading, they move in 5 waves. So all I wanted to bring to attention is the fact that we're now projecting this 5th wave. Now, given that we are in an uptrend on this 5-minute chart, which will stay relevant within the context of the next day or so, it will show that within that context, within that next day, we can expect a higher high than the previous high in the structure, because we are making higher lows, higher highs right now. And the 5th wave is the conclusion wave. So the point being is that within the next day or so, there's a possibility that we can top out somewhere above $25,000 before correcting to the downside in what some traders, some Elliott wave traders, which is what this wave theory is called, they will consider an ABC correction. So once we hit some peak somewhere up here, above that dashed line that I have, it would just show around that new moon period, which is in like 4 days, we're going to have what's called an ABC correction. It's a 3-wave pattern. So down, up, down. And who knows, maybe we'll go lower than 24,000. It's actually very likely or very possible after the end of those 3 waves, those 3 corrections. And from then on forward, as I mentioned in the post on Patreon today, we are still in a uptrend on the weekly level. So this means after that correction, which will likely go back below 24,000, which means, for me, I'm looking to exit the long that I'm in currently. A long is when you borrow crypto or you buy crypto using borrowed funds. And anyway, that's why I'm looking to exit within the next day. And anyway, on the larger time frames, though, it's likely we will continue higher. The next target is $26,250 for Bitcoin. And that is projected for within the next 8 weeks. So sometime in the next 7 weeks, we can expect, based on the trends, which is not financial advice, this is speculative. So there's also a possibility that things can change in the smaller time frames and that we can have to scratch this idea. So I'll really just speak for myself here. Let me correct that. That's why I project within the next 8 weeks to 2,600 26,250 is a conservative target for the next wave up on the weekly time frame. And that's all I have for you guys today. Check out the astrology on Patreon. I make specific posts, blog posts, videos about the charts of the transits and how they're affecting Bitcoin. Next, we're going to be looking at this lunar return that is happening for Bitcoin and this new moon energy. So I'll see you guys there, and I'll talk to you soon in another post. Peace. Remember, look out for this fifth wave. And that's all I have for today.